Hey everybody, we wanted to give you a few different ideas for doing your hair. And so we're coming up with a bunch of videos that you have requested, or things that, tips and tricks that we know that maybe you don't know that we can help you with. So we've been getting a lot of requests for Paige curls, but even more particularly, what about the flat iron versus the curling iron? A lot of people are getting the curling iron down, but they're not getting the flat iron down. And so the flat iron is a little bit more tricky. The reason being is it's just harder to hold, and more people are used to using the curling iron. So ideally, for these curls, wouldn't you agree that you prefer the curling iron?
Yeah, I prefer the curling iron over the flat iron.
And what size is your favorite?
I use the 1 1/4 inch, I think. Is that the one that we have?
I think, yeah, the 1 1/4 is pretty popular. Also, the 1 inch is very popular as well. And
For
if you
a tighter
want
curl.
for a tighter curl, and it almost gives a little bit more of that beachy, twisty wave with the 1 inch.
Yeah.
If you want a really big, loose wave, I have gone up to the 1 1/2, but you have to realize that's a big curl, and if your hair doesn't hold curl well, it will just completely fall out.
Yeah.
But it is a good option if your hair does hold curl. It's very pretty. Anyway, so what we want to do is we want to go over the curls with you, and we're going to specifically focus on the flat iron curls because that's what we got a request for. And if you have other requests that you would like us to cover, let us know. But today we're going to do a flat iron curl. Paige is going to show you exactly what she does, and she's going to do it the way that she does. She's not going to teach other different methods, just what she does on herself, because that's what we've gotten their request for. So go ahead, Paige.
Okay. So to start off, we're going to be using the thermal defense spray. And the thermal defense spray, you will just spray it in your hair before you put any heat on it, like a curling iron or flat iron. And it is like putting a protection in between your hair and the flat iron. So in between that, so it protects your hair from heat and damage. So you'll just spray that everywhere. And then I usually go in sections. It's up to you, personal preference. And my hair is kind of like wavy, curly. And then I'll put it up into a clippy. And then I'll grab a section about this big. And then I'll twist it down. And I always leave out the ends. Like when I twist down. And a big thing with like curling your hair with the flat iron is keeping the flat iron down, pointed down. Because if you go out like that and do it, the curl will go out. So if you want it to go more down, it's personal preference, I guess. And so I like mine to go more down, so I'll always, when I flat iron it, I always go down instead of going out. Okay. Another thing is the ends, like, so when I am curling it, which will be easier to show you once I get higher on my head, I don't even like take the curl down that far. And sometimes if it isn't straight, because I did let it air dry, then I'll go through at the end of like my section and I'll just like flat iron the ends a little bit.
Okay, can I ask a question now?
Yes.
So in the back, if your hair is too short to do, what do you do?
So honestly, a lot of people, since you won't, well, like for me, I sometimes don't even curl the bottom of my hair because like you honestly like won't see it very much. But if I do, I'll just do a little bit. And if your hair is too short, then then don't even like worry about it. Maybe you can do a little bit on the ends, but other than that, like, you don't have to really worry about it, if that makes
So
sense.
if it's too short to get in a flat iron or even a curling iron, just
Yeah.
leave it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Again, having the flat iron pointed down. So the curls are going down and now out. And when you're curling it, always make sure that that you're going away from the face and not towards the face. Because a lot of people, I mean, it's personal preference again, but like how I do it is I always go away from the face. And like sometimes to add texture pieces, like I'll show you right now. I'll go towards my face for the texture piece, just to add like more dimension and texture into the hair. But that's up to you. Yeah, so I start at the top and then I work my way down and always leaving out the ends. So I'll show you right here in this front piece. I also am not, going through them quite yet. Like I'm letting the curls kind of air dry. Like dry. Not dry, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like cool.
Like cool, that's the word I'm looking for. Because with the flat iron curls, they are more relaxed, I think, than a curling iron. Than I would, like how I would curl my hair with a curling iron.
Where with a curling iron, you will go in and sometimes you'll run your fingers through when they're warm, and sometimes you'll let it cool. What's the difference? Why do you let it cool versus why do you run your fingers through when it's warm?
Because some people's hair holds curl better than others, and so as soon as you run through as soon as you run through the hair with a so you curl it and then you run your fingers through it, it like loosens it and like it becomes more of like a, you know what I'm talking about, like a wave type of thing, and the more it stays into the curl, like this one. Like at the end, if I were to brush this one out or if I just piece it apart, it will still stay in the more formed curl, so throughout the day it will fall out more. So some people, I don't do that because then throughout the day it will fall out if their hair doesn't hold curl very well. So yeah, that's the difference between when I do it and when I don't do it. Okay, again, start at the top, keeping it down, leaving out the ends. Okay, another really important thing about using a straightener is you never want to hold the curl there. So if you're trying to work on the technique and try to get it down, you never want to just hold the flat iron in one spot. Like, so when you're like working on it and you're like, oh, I can't, like it's stuck, like I can't get it, you never want to just hold it there. You always want to be like moving it, so that it doesn't burn your hair. So I haven't brushed out any of them so far. Still making sure I'm holding the curling iron down. And when you get to the back, like at least for me, it's harder to obviously see and do the back. And so, some people are able to have like another mirror they can like do it. But if not, just pull it to the side and so you can see it better. Because I feel like that always helps. Okay. So start at the top and then just twist. Move that and then I just run it through, not grabbing the ends. Start at the top again. 1, 2, twist, and I usually just run it down. And start at the top, work down. Keeping the curling iron down. Okay, last section.
Okay, another question, and you may have already covered this. What if you want more volume? Can you change the way you twist it?
Yes, okay, so another thing with that is if I wanted to add more volume, you could always like start at the top and go out again, like I said, which is not really that's not how I do it, but if you want more volume, that's how you do it. That's how you would do it. You would go out more. So how I do it is I go down like that, close to the head, and I flat iron it down. But if you want to add volume, when you start at the top, really get that top up. So that, and then you could go out. See how that one adds way more volume than this one did? So this one right here added way more volume right there and like out, and this one just went down. So it's personal preference, whatever you like more. But that is how you do more of a volume curl than a straighter curl. Again, starting at the top, going down, keeping it by my side.
Okay, also explain, you're pulling the curls down. Is that just to get them smoother? Is that to get them less volume? Is that to get the ends straighter?
So
What's your purpose in that?
It's to have a straighter curl and for them to go more to the side and have less volume. So it kind of does all those. So when I'm pulling it down versus pulling it to the side, it's lessening.
So like right there, you pull it down.
Yeah.
You retwist it and then you re-pull it down.
Yeah. So yeah. Just to add less of volume and more of like down to the side than out. So that's the reason that I do it. Now I'm just adding texture spray into it to give it more texture and volume and stuff. So yeah, this is the final product. And now I'm going through it and brushing out all the curls, making it more loose. And then if I do go through and I see any like pieces that I'm like, oh, I wish that was like straighter or anything like that, then you can always just go through with the curling iron and change the pieces that you don't like.
And that creates like that beachy wave.
Yep.
Okay. Even still though, you would recommend a curling iron over a flat iron.
Yes.
Okay. But this does give another option to do. Okay. If you have questions, let us know. We'd be happy to help. See ya.
Thank you.